What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 7 of Brick Talk. This is our podcast here with KDX Bricks Analytics, where we talk about Lego investing, the collectible Lego market, and things of that sort. I pulled a Kevin. I woke up today and I missed the Medieval Blacksmith $35 discount code.
Well, I got 2 of the Blacksmiths using the 20% off.
You're kidding.
So I did something a little unusual for myself. On Thursday night, the 16th, I went in and reserved 4 codes. I've only used 3 of them so far, but I went in and reserved the 4 codes that I might consider using. Assembly Square, Ford Mustang, the Lunar Lander, and then, of course, the Medieval Blacksmith. It's come up a few times on comments in my videos, and I think yours too. Is there any concern that that's another set that people are saying, hey, everybody's talking about it?
Is this set overrated? Yes and no. For investment, it is. And for some reason, the comparison that everyone draws is to the old fishing store, a previous ideas set with a much shorter shelf life in an era where there were much fewer Lego investors even participating. So I don't think that's really a fair comparison. Now, I do think it's a fantastic set. I love the construction on it. The style is perfect. It's like the best set of the year. So it's absolutely a buy, and there's a lot of future demand. The out of stock performance on Amazon when it's gone out of stock has shown that. Now, is it hoarded? I don't know. I think post price bump, maybe not so much, because it's gone up in price bracket from about $150 to, after tax and everything, closer to a $200 set. I think it still has that great value and the ability to quickly become a $300 set. So for that reason, I think it's still a solid pick for investment.
Okay, good. Because when you first started saying, I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to go return these 2 Medieval Blacksmiths.
You can return them right here to my house if you want.
At the $35 off and the 2 GWPs and double VIP points.
I would like to do a humble brag for a moment, if I may. I am now the owner of a Cloud City Boba Fett. I never thought I would see that figure and hold it with my own eyes. Hold it with my eyes? Hold it in my own hand, look at it with my own eyes. It's a very cool figure. It's actually back there in those drawers to try to keep it out of the sunlight a little bit. But I have been inspecting it. I have pushed the legs into the torso, so it's no longer pure, whatever, for all the nerds out there. No, it was found floating around in a bulk lot, like with other minifigures, getting bumped around, slammed around. So I'm sure the print is not perfect. I'm sure there is some playware. I haven't yet looked at it under a macro camera to really examine how mint it is. And so that's my pickup of the week.
This was just a random bucket of Lego, Star Wars related Lego pieces that you picked up off a marketplace or something?
Yeah, so I didn't actually see any minifigures in the bulk lot when I saw it. It was just a big tub of what I recognized to be some pieces of some Star Wars sets, some ATSTs, X-Wings, old things like play scale sets, reasonably valuable, nothing insanely valuable, but it was a huge amount of Lego for like $100. So I was like, all right, certainly this is going to be a good deal. Sure enough, there were some figures, nothing too valuable except for Cloud City Boba, but I did find some contemporary minifigures like the light up Darth Vader from the TIE Fighter in 2005, which is only about a $30 figure. Also a light up Mace Windu, which is closer to like a $100 figure. He actually does still light up. So there were some really good finds in there.
What does that Cloud City Boba Fett fig go for in just average condition?
Star Wars number 107 only ever appeared in the 2003 Betrayal at Cloud City. I think it's just called Cloud City, actually, that one. 10123, great set. It's like a $10,000 set, sealed if you have that. If we look at this figure used, which is my condition, looks like it's selling average around $1,300 over the last 6 months. Pricing that I kind of came up with here is if there are no cracks in the torso or the legs or anything, but some dents, it's around like $1,800. If it's legitimate Lego and there are cracks, it's maybe around like $1,000 to $1,200, $2,600 US if absolutely mint. Mine is not that.
Yeah.
So mine's probably, I'm estimating around like $1,300. So great pickup. I do intend to sell it because I want to reinvest those profits. Some more new Lego sets. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
What are the odds that one of those is out in the wild somewhere that people don't know about and that it would pop up? You know, like for you to find that, that's got to be a 1 in a million type experience.
Well, I've gone through a lot of bulk lots, and this is my first one I found. I will say the person I bought from seemed to know that they had some good sets. They seemed to know a little bit about what they had. I think they just didn't simply have the time to go through their childhood bins and put it all together. The person requested I meet them sort of late at night. And when I met them, I was like, oh, do you always work this late? They're like, yeah, I do. Like, I have no time at all. But they seem to know what they have. So that gave me a good indication, oh, maybe there's some good stuff in here. So for those of us who are familiar with the stock market, Berkshire Hathaway, absolutely humongous stock price. It's like $500,000 per share. And Warren Buffett himself has gone on record as saying, you know, writing into personal friends and things, may you live as long as Berkshire is undivided. Like, he never intends to divide Berkshire Hathaway. That's kind of the problem with the Cloud City Boba Fett, is you have a ton of value stored in this little thing the size of your thumb that could be lost, could be scratched, could be anything. So there's a lot of risk involved. Concentrating a lot of value in one asset is not as problematic in things like real estate or things like stocks. When you think about a physical thing like a collectible Lego, there's a lot of risk there. And so for that reason, I would much rather have a handful of, say, Jango Fetts at a lower value. Still a great figure, but closer to a $200, $300, or $400 figure. That's a great store of value. It only takes up a little bit more space, and you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, what if the torso cracks? To me, that's not really what Lego is meant to be about. It's a toy. It's meant to be played with. The fact that it's collectible and has value is kind of like a happy side effect, if you will. And the fact that it's gone on to have such a loyal following of collectors who are willing to pay high prices for amazing products speaks a lot to the quality and the longevity of Lego as a toy and as a product.
I think I found a Ray once in a bulk.
I think I found a BB-8.
Yeah, I think I found a BB-8 once in a bulk marketplace pickup. So, I've had a similar but totally different experience as you.
Let's get into good set, bad set today.
All right, so David, my first good set, bad set is this set that was just announced, the Lego Ideas, the Orient Express. It's $300, 2,500 pieces. What do you think?
Well, it's a train set, and like all train sets, the price per piece is not very good.
And why is that?
Part of it could be that the large tracks are a more expensive piece than usual. This doesn't have the benefit of hooking into a regular city train, or does it? Is the track compatible?
It does not. So that's one reason why this is off a little bit, is because the track construction there is using the old single rail pieces that you can put together. It is the correct gauge, I think is the right word, the correct width, so it can fit on the standard city rail, but it's a bunch of extra pieces to build that straight track. And it's kind of like the large Harry Potter train that is actually oversized. That one's too big to even put on your regular standard city rail. And so a bunch of extra pieces went into that to make it look good. But what's the other reason that train sets are usually terrible on price to part ratio? I think the other reason is because a lot of trains come with the power functions. Is that what it's called these days? Power function?
I believe so.
This train is not powered. It looks like it, but how disappointing is that we get a great looking classic Lego Ideas train set and they couldn't even get power into it. And apparently it's not even designed to where you can easily make the conversion.
Yeah, so this is alienating like the Lego train fans, which you would think would be the key demographic. I don't see this doing well at all. This has got to be a bad set. It's not even out yet.
Very, very early, but I'm going good set on it because it is a Lego Ideas set and it is very unique looking. When we look back at the other train sets, they're a little more modern, they're a little more play designed.
There are a ton of fans of this vintage of city trains. They go bananas. Both the cargo trains, the freight trains, and the passenger trains, but they're all cross-compatible. That's the key part of what makes Lego Lego, is everything needs to be cross-compatible, and this Orient Express doesn't really scratch the itch for me.
It does not, but since it is an idea set, a beautiful looking piece, and a lot of idea sets are very popular because of the build experience that's aimed for adults and the display ability. I think even though the initial reaction is negative because it is very different than the fan design, they will see that it looks great with the dark blue and the gold accents, really classy looking. And so I'm actually excited about this one. I want it, but early prediction that it's going to be a good set for investing 4 years from now when it retires.
This looks fun to take some foliage pieces and make it like derailed in a forest. Unfortunately, it is $300 US, so even if I get it on a good deal, that's a bit out of my price range. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to fill out my fantasy of a really cool train crash in the forest. Who doesn't love a train wreck? Those like historical images from the 1800s when like steam locomotives would just explode. Those were wild times. There's some great historical photographs. Here we have 76216 Iron Man Armory. Hear me out. This set has 8 minifigures, 5 of which are unique. If we click into those, there's some pretty cool Tony Stark Iron Man variants here. This is one of the most insanely overpriced sets I can even think of, for $90. The reason I'm talking about this set today is that by the time this episode is out, this set will have gone on sale with Walmart at Black Friday for $45. That's a great price for this retiring set and all of its minifigures. You have an 18-month shelf life in total, 5 unique figures, and I think some room to grow if you're getting it for $45.
At $45, it's still a huge bad set for me. Double thumbs down. It's got to be down to $30 for me. But how's the last one doing?
Not that great. I sold mine for like $1 of profit. Pretty hilarious.
Good work.
Yeah.
So, yep, my price point is $30 on this one. 45, still bad set.
Dang, that's crazy. I recall not too long ago you saying you would pick up any set on 50%. Guess we found the outlier.
We found the outlier.
A similar set in a similar situation is this Black Panther bust that just will not go out of stock at $210, despite a retail price of, what is that?
$350.
This is just a great example of a hilarious misprice in the case of Lego, completely overestimating the demand. So it seems that despite the high MSRP of $350. The real market value of this set is closer to $200 or even $175 if we look at eBay sales. Such a slow seller. Every time I sort Lego sets available by best sellers, this set is like the last set. There's no volume on this set. Nobody wants it. Kind of a similar situation as the Iron Man Armory. At the MSRP, no one is going to want it. But if you can get it for half off, I actually like this set way better than I like the Black Panther bust. This should have been $150 MSRP.
Exactly. And then with sales, get it down to $125. And that's what I was going to say. If I can pick it up for $125, I would get it. Obviously, I like all of the Star Wars helmets and heads and busts, but I don't really like the superhero gauntlet and the Wolverine. But of that grouping of sets, this one actually is my favorite personally as to how it looks. So I like this one.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's 5 times the price of all the other ones.
It's 5 times the price, and it's not even at the same scale, so it doesn't even fit in with that collection. If you don't have a Bricklink store and you're wanting to start one, then go pick up 100 of these at $100 each, and you might be able to part them out pretty well, but that's not a road that I'm going down anytime soon.
Any guesses on the part out value, current availability of this set?
$350.
I'm going to say $500. Oh, we got $544 in past sales. Currently $663.
I failed that test. Yeah.
So if you can get it for $175 for your Bricklink store, it's okay. But as a conventional Lego investment where you hold the set sealed, it just doesn't work.
It's weird. I love the set, but so poorly managed.
Just a misprice. You know, the piece count should have been 2/3 of what it was, but still way overpriced, like at least double overpriced, which is crazy. That just kind of goes to show you, like, just because a set is on 40% discount doesn't necessarily mean it's a buy. Like, you have to actually understand what people are willing to pay for it, understand like, oh, why is this a flop? A good set from last year was the Queer Eye set, which I was actually pretty high on at $45 because it's a $100 set. Sure enough, I got them at $45 and now that set is like $80. So look, it's still under its MSRP. It's still by all means a bad investment, but you got to take in mind your buy price every time.
David, my second set, 75356, the Executor Super Star Destroyer. It is the Super Star Destroyer in the MIDI scale. $70, 630 pieces. I'm going with great set. Look how sleek it looks. What is the most popular Star Wars sub-theme right now?
The helmets.
And are we getting any more new helmet sets?
No more helmets.
And then what came after the helmets? It's kind of similar. The dioramas. We're getting a couple.
Ooh, dioramas.
And yeah, there's a lot of booing to the dioramas. David and I are on opposite ends with that one. And so the diorama sets are splitting the investment community. Some people are all in on them. Some people hate them. I like them a lot. But there's going to be the next Star Wars theme that performs like the helmets. And this MIDI scale, if they make a handful of these, 7 to 12 of these, then I think they're a winner. Look at the couple of other sets that have already come out in the MIDI scale size. Now they're from 2010 and 2009. I get it. They're up 250, 350% growth. We only have a couple so far. Yes, there are no minifigures in these sets, but I don't think that matters. When you put them on a stand and display them, they look great.
Well, I agree that these older 2009 and 10 MIDI sets, chef's kiss. And I agree with you that the Executor Star Destroyer is a great set. I don't think I've ever seen it on sale at Walmart. Keep in mind, it is Walmart exclusive. It's a little bit scarcer in the marketplace. Now you can get it direct from Lego. Man, look at this overhead shot. That symmetry, it looks like an arrowhead. And for $70, if you can get it on some kind of like gift with purchase from Lego or double VIP, actually right now as we record this, not a bad deal. I don't think we're ever going to see this on better than like a 20% discount.
Hopefully it just doesn't have a 4-year shelf life.
Who knows? It seems to be selling well, so that's good. I hope they keep it around.
And make some more in the same style.
I've just made up this next set on the fly because this morning I saw a sale that I'm sure by the time this video is posted will be gone. The set that we're going to talk about here, $48 with an additional 20% back on Kohl's Cash. But if we launch in here, we have 2% Rakuten. If you don't have that, there's a link in the description below. Look at this. I have $20 Kohl's Cash from last week. I bought some random stuff. So let's go on and apply that. Looks like my total after tax and shipping is $78 actually for 2 of these sets delivered. So that's $39 a piece. Now, if we look here at the Amazon price history chart, what do we see? When this set goes out of stock around February or March, it seems seems that it goes up to $65, close to $70. So I think if you can get these for $39, it's a good set. It's hilariously overpriced. Like we've been talking about this entire episode about overpriced sets and underpriced sets, which we're going to talk about next.
This one's easy for me. It's a Star Wars diorama. So of course it's an amazing set. I think it's $100 set a year or two after it retires. If you can get them sub 50, doing great. As I've said over and over here on the podcast and in my videos, the dioramas are some of the overpriced Star Wars sets. And I think that's where a lot of the hate comes from. And you never know, David, maybe that's pushing people away. And maybe there aren't going to be as many people investing in these sets. I know that they're going on huge discounts here and there, but it's not that common.
I suppose not. You do have to sort of work for that Kohl's deal there. And even then, you don't get it all up front. You get some of the discount as a back-end store credit kind of thing, almost like Lego VIP points. So it's not all of the best kind of discount, which is an upfront discount. It's actually different kinds of discounting. But effectively, the Death Star Trench Run at that price, that's a great pickup. And I haven't ordered any yet, but I'm thinking about ordering a couple.
Yeah, so two recent pickups that I'm very excited about. The Red 5 helmet was $43 at Target. So I picked up, I think, 4 of those at that price. Target sent me a couple of smashed up boxes again. It's been rough, man, with Target lately.
I wonder if they're shipping from store or if it comes from like the central fulfillment center. I know with, say, Kohl's or sometimes from Walmart, you can get shipped from store that gets pretty battered up, but if it comes from the actual warehouse, it tends to be packaged nicer.
I think these were shipped from stores, and that was exactly what I was thinking. But as many Red 5s at $43, $45, that's a great price. But then another one, this set right here, and this one retails for $70, maybe even $80. I think it's $70, right?
$70.
Walmart was running the $30 special on that set, and I didn't pick any up, but I was walking through a Walmart, and they happened to have one there kind of after the special was over.
What an amazing deal. You're right. At that sort of bargain basement below 50% price, yeah, you can't lose money. With the Red 5, it's maybe a 40% off price. It's like still, you can't lose money with that.
How about you? Any recent awesome pickups you're excited about?
Well, Kevin, one of my recent pickups that I would love to tell you about is a perfect segue into my next set. So the next set on Good Set, Bad Set today, this 10278 Modular Police Station was available just this morning as we record this on November 18th for $150. Now, here's what went through my head when, Kevin, you so conveniently texted me that deal, is I thought to myself, this is just like a $16 Speed Champions car. It's a dying breed. It's something that we're not going to be seeing too much of going forward as the modular price point apparently moves to $300, a lot more like Assembly Square or like the Baby Barf Olive Green Natural History Museum. So I think the days of $150 modular buildings are very limited. This is probably one of the last opportunities to get such a thing. A lot like $16 Speed Champions car, even if the underlying product is subpar, maybe it's the worst of the theme, just its presence in that theme means it's part of the collection. There's going to be certain demand for it. And as the others rise, what do they say? A rising tide lifts all boats. I'm high on this set, especially at $150. I only picked up one because I am conserving my capital, but I thought about picking up 2 or 3.
You and I texted about it. I ended up not picking one up because I think I have 3 of these, 1 for myself, and then 2 that I plan on holding on to for a while. At the $150 price, you can't go wrong.
Just holding this in your hands with a box presence, you say, wow, this is $150. That seems like a steal.
It does. It does.
It's heavy.
And it has almost 3,000 pieces for the $200 MSRP. And the bookshop, same price, close to 2,600 pieces. That's a big difference. And so this one really is bang for your buck. Like you said, the visual appeal, not quite like the others, but the interior detail is fantastic. The story that you and I have talked about in the past with the little donut shop and the newspaper stand.
Yeah, I love this.
Side.
Oh man, I never saw the corkboard of the evidence.
Oh, isn't that great?
That's such great part usage. Man, I wish I picked up 2 or 3 now.
Yeah, honestly, the reason I didn't pick it up is just because I was already planning other things for Insider Weekend and Black Friday. And I just said, hey, you can't buy them all. Even though it's a great opportunity, it just doesn't fit into the plans that I was making as we close out 2023. But absolute winner. Love it. You can't pick them all up. There's always a limit.
That's true.
I've lost count, but my next set is this one, the Princess Leia Boushh 75351. David, I'll ask you in a second what you think about it. Now that we know that the helmet line is coming to an end, I am very excited about this set. Obviously, I'm going to wait until it retires, but it'll probably retire at the end of 2024. And I think this one is going to be a huge hit just because it is so weird looking. And it looks pretty accurate to when Princess Leia was wearing it in the movie. In Lego form, it is weird looking. But again, because it's so unique, so different, it's going to be a standout in the helmet line. This set was the thing of nightmares for me, but it got replaced. Can you go to the next tab? All right.
Oh my God.
So the Boushh was the thing of nightmares for me. You're having the perfect reaction for me. We didn't rehearse this. David's my wingman on this one.
Oh my God.
Like I said, Princess Leia Boushh gave me nightmares, but not anymore. Now that I've seen this set, this one gives me nightmares because this is terrible.
You've heard of helmet holes. Now get ready for technic holes.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
I'm just going to date myself. This reminds me so much of like Lego Star Wars 2 from 2006 on the original Xbox when they first introduced the concept of bounty hunters and throwing thermal detonators. This exact helmet is like the symbol for a bounty hunter thermal detonator, basically when you need to blow something up. So in my mind, just ingrained is that with this.
Well, and the Brown's an advantage, right? Because after somebody builds it and then maybe it gets a little brittle, they're going to be like, well, geez, you know, I want to open up another one out of the box. I built this one 15 years ago. I want a fresh one.
All right. Buy this set and hold it for 15 years. You'll probably do okay. Looks like there are a handful of unique parts, just the plaque and then a couple of medium nougat curved parts. We've had some good sets today. I like your MIDI Star Destroyer.
I got more good ones coming your way.
Flying in hot.
That's right.
Wish I had some Blacksmith discount codes flying in. But somebody was smart and unlocked them all at 12:01 midnight.
This guy.
I'm so excited to share with you this next set. Are you ready for it?
I mean, as you're hyping it up, I'm feeling like I should be less and less ready for it, but I have no choice. Throw it at me.
All right, here we are, folks. Today we are talking about Monkie Kid, set number 80019. This is the Red Sun's Inferno Jet, a $35 set that actually retired nearly a year ago. Oopsie, what's this? Look here on Amazon. This set has popped back into stock. Now it is 89% claimed, so certainly this will not be available by the time you folks on YouTube are seeing this video. But what a great deal just to pop back into stock. I'm looking at this set, medium-sized Monkie Kid sets, especially with some exclusive figs, which this set only I think has one Bob there. I'm not sure why his name is Bob, but this figure I believe is like a $12 figure, and then the others make up darn close to $24 of value. So I don't see how you lose money if the figs alone cover the cost of the set. Pretty cool box art, and I think if this show takes off more in North America, I mean, otherwise you're going to be shipping probably to East Asia. That international shipping is going to be super expensive, but if you're selling in the North American market, give it a couple of years, this show might take off, and this will be a pretty cool set. So I haven't bought any yet, but man, it's a good set. I'm thinking about it.
I was just going to ask you, how many are you going to buy, David?
Well, if I go here to add them to my cart, it looks like I can only get 3 at a time, unfortunately.
I didn't realize this was last year's wave of Monkie Kid sets. I just glossed right over it. Thanks for doing the research. I might go see if I can buy one right after we're done recording.
Yeah, man. So if we look here, this set was on discount down to its $24 price here right before it retired. Mm-hmm. And it looks like it's been available all year on discount at just below its MSRP, all the way down now to $24. Maybe they found some more pallets and they need to get rid of this. This set sold very well during its life, I guess a couple times at $80, but more frequently close to like $40 or $45. So a little bit of a premium on the MSRP, but not too much of a premium. Keep in mind the whole graph is kind of skewed by those early outlier sales. Mostly look at this portion here in the bottom right. Good looks for this set, especially if you can pick it up for $24.
I like it. Thanks for doing the research for me.
Too bad for you folks on YouTube. Too slow. Did anyone get this deal? Leave it in the comments. You're throwing an entire theme at me?
It's the 2023 Indiana Jones sets. Only 3 of them got released. The first one, a very nice diorama, and then 2 more sets. And I come to the table not knowing what to think about these at all. And I'm on the last bag of building 77015. It's a great build. The action features are awesome. And then the other 2 sets that are more the place sets, they're really good price points. $40 for the 600 pieces for Escape from the Lost Tomb.
I didn't realize how substantial the build of the set is for that price.
And then the 3 minifigures, some good action features. And then the other set, which is even a better price at $35 for 3 minifigures, a very nice looking, pretty much World War II plane, and then the awesome car.
I always thought it was funny that Lego stays very clearly away from making military objects, and yet they make this Messerschmitt plane, which is like definitely a military plane. So I like this set. I like that it has its play value in a box. You have multiple characters, multiple vehicles. It's a great looking plane, and I like the feature where I think you pop the ends of the wings off for a little play action there. Dr. Jones Sr. looks great. I think that is, Indy looks great, and I'm pretty high on these. I like these. Mainly the fighter plane chase. Not sure when they're retiring. I think maybe the end of 2024. So again, I'm not looking very closely. One thing I would say, if you're wondering how these are going to do, I would look at the older sets. This one is Temple of the Golden Idol, but if you look at the prior set based on Temple of Doom with the similar falling ball mechanism. So this is our 2009 set that we're talking about here. $90 set, nearly 15 years retired. That has gone up 500% to $457. Look here, the last fighter plane set from Indy Jones. $50 for 2 planes. Pretty decent deal there. Actually, less of a decent deal than the current one. And it's a $300 set just about. Flight on the Flying Wing. This is one of the most unique looking sets because this vehicle is just huge green wing. Again, a $50 set going for over $200. Here are the vehicles. The Chase $30 scene. Again, 2 cars with a lot more minifigures going for $177. Now keep in mind, a lot of these are 12, 13, 14 year old, but still the ROIs speak for themselves. This is the set I was talking about with the falling ball concept. Just amazing. And the biplane there, Jock there coming in with the plane. These booby traps are so iconic. Look, this set new is $500. Originally $60. Looking here, Temple of the Crystal Skull. This is a unique set because it has a unique 3D base plate, which Lego has almost entirely gone away from. This is one of the last sets to use those. It's a very expensive part, and the whole set is $325 new, up from $80. So it's gone 4 times value, 400%. Race for the Stolen Treasure. I used to have some of these smaller play sets. Just a $30 set that's gone 7 or 8 times its value. That's absolutely nuts. Now keep in mind, a lot of these are driven in large part due to the drought of Indiana Jones sets. So it's possible these will come down and the new sets may not have the same insane collector appeal. But man, these prices are nuts. The smallest one here, the Indiana Jones motorcycle chase here. This is just 2 motorcycles, a little station, $10 set, going for over 100. That's over 1,000% return on investment. Granted, you've had to hold it 15 years. Imagine getting 100 of these on discount back in the day. That would be absolutely amazing.
Oh man, all these sets look good. So nostalgic for the old movies.
So I want to talk about something which is movie tie-ins. It seems like with every new Lego release involving a new movie tie-in, there's so much buzz and so much hype given to it. Let's keep in mind, I had these sets as a child when this movie was out, this Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or whatever. This was a terrible movie. It did very poorly critically. Harrison Ford, nobody liked it. I think they lost money on it. It was just not good. I remember this villain. It just didn't do well. Now the sets were amazing, but it goes to show that the popularity of the show in question actually may not have much to do with how the sets do. Maybe something to look at if we're thinking about something like Avatar.
That's a very good point, because I've always had in the back of my mind, because couple of those Avatar sets are really intricate and gorgeous to look at. And so you're right. I've had in the back of my mind, is there a chance that a couple of those are going to be very, very popular, but probably after a long hold time? Honestly, a lot of what you said is what I was thinking too, but I have a little issue with these sets in the back of my mind. One, the movie was not very good, and you did highlight that that may not matter, but it might. But the other thing that I'm worried about is there are only 3 in the 2023 theme, and one of them is this display, with a lot of action features, but it's a display set. So there's only 2 play sets. With only 2 play sets, are these sets actually going to get any traction? Do they fit in with the other previous ones that are very expensive and probably not many people are buying up a bunch of, for their own collection? I would love to have all the 2008, 2009 new in-box Indiana Jones sets, but it's not like a lot of those sets are exchanging hands at a high pace right now. So I am worried that these 3 sets, especially these 2 play sets, might just get forgotten.
That's a really good thought. I hadn't thought about that, but Lego used to release things in a very certain way, the way they display sets together in their catalog next to one another. They used to release a $20, a $40, maybe a $100 price point of these multiple sets at different scales that tie together. Looking here, these are a $30 set and a $35 set, different subject material and pretty great sets, but there are just 2, as you say. There's no flagship set. There's no Black Pearl, Pirates of the Caribbean, or some amazing thing to draw in your eye. And I think you're right. I think these may be flying under the radar. I think they're solid sets, but I don't know if they'll ever become as iconic as the other ones.
They're solid sets. They are great value for the price, and we will absolutely be able to get them on sale sometime, which is going to make them even more great value. And of these 3 sets, there are, 12 minifigures, and 11 of them are unique. That's pretty awesome, right?
Are there new 2024 releases?
I haven't heard anything, and maybe the movie did so poorly that Lego just said, said, hey, we were planning on another release, but forget about it. Or maybe there's some, Brickset article out there on it that we both missed. Who knows? Somebody will let us know in the comments if we're way off on that.
We're going to talk about this set again. 40539 Ahsoka Tano, the Brickhead. It draws in your eye and it catches your attention so well. By contrast to the sets I talked about earlier, the Black Panther Bust and the Iron Man Armory, this set is kind of inherently underpriced. It has 164 parts, so from a price per piece, it should almost be like a $15 solo Brickhead, despite it being the 150th commemorative Brickhead. And with the Ahsoka Tano show coming out and possibly ramping up early next year, it seems like a bad choice for LEGO to retire this just at the end of 2023. However, that is what they're set to do. And so if we look at the market price on this set, it's nearly always been over $10, $15, $20. And so this just feels like LEGO underpriced. They did the opposite of what they did with the Black Panther Bust. Now, this is a welcome mistake. I won't be mad about a cheap set, but it just seems like strange behavior, or like there's almost an inconsistency. So I think this is a fantastic set. We've already talked about the difficulties in securing this in a large quantity. What are your thoughts?
Great thoughts. I have a couple, but question for you. This is probably the set that's getting talked most about being over-hoarded and that it could turn into a bust.
I just disagree. No, it's only obtainable after you get your 2 per account at Shop at Home. And I understand it's somewhat difficult to have multiple accounts at Shop at Home. I mean, possibly 2, but 3, or you can't have 10. So I'm very skeptical. As much as there is buzz, I would love to see the quantity on hand of all of these buzz people or all of these resellers, all these people currently selling it. I'm sure it's a couple, maybe a couple dozen, but I don't think anyone is sitting on hundreds and hundreds of these, unless you're stopping in at the LEGO store. I mean, literally every week.
Somebody out there has done it, but you're right. It's few and far between. This set will do really well in post-retirement. And who cares if you have to hold on to it for a little while longer to let some of that initial stock dry up? These boxes are small. They're easy to store. You're not worried about beating up the boxes because, it's a small set, right? Like a little bit of blemish on the box, who cares? And then on top of it, the show season 1 is already completed. Season 2 is already in the works now that the writers are back to work. And so I think it's just up, up, and up with this set. So have you seen the first season of Ahsoka?
I have not. Much like Andor, I never got around to watching it.
It's really good, and it's kind of a slow burn initially, which I kind of like. I don't need over intensity with the Star Wars universe because the ships and the scenes and the characters are great. It's nice to have all that get developed.
I don't know this character particularly well. I know she's a female Twi'lek or something. It seems like it's going to be a popular character going forward.
We talk about how great this Brickheadz figure looks, but what we don't talk about is how well LEGO did with part design and part usage to make the shaping of the hair, the headdress element, how that curves down the side and over the shoulder and peaks is very, very accurate when you consider that it's the Brickheadz medium, and just how LEGO fit those pieces. Looking at this picture, it looks so simple, but I can guarantee you coming up with that took a lot of work and they nailed it.
In Brickhead form, and to only use as this many pieces, yeah. In 10 years, I don't see how this isn't $100.
Oh, yeah. All right, so my last one, David, it's a really new set. Technically, it's called Spring Festival Mickey 40673. Mickey Brickheadz and mini Brickhead sets are 5 to 10 times in value, and there aren't a lot of them, just a few, right? And so having one in this Spring Festival design, I think, is a great idea. And, sometimes the Mickey character doesn't have too many colors on it. The one that's in the 100th anniversary set is black and white, and the other one is just the standard red and black, and it's just kind of two-tone, whereas this one has a lot of color brought into it, and it's a Mickey character. So I love it. I don't know how long it'll be on the shelves. Maybe not too long because it's Spring Festival themed, but I'm excited about this one.
At first, I was kind of down on it because a lot of the Chinese New Year stuff hasn't sold all that well. I see what you're saying, and this does look very cute. It is very appealing. If it does turn out to be a 3 or 4 or 5 month shelf life, I could see that becoming very rare. And yeah, the Mickey looks very good. So to me, this is easily a $20 or $30 item. Just a matter of what event or what demand is going to push it there.
I think for this one, the price will drive in post-retirement more because it's Mickey and not so much because of the Chinese New Year and Spring Festival affiliation with, those types of sets. But I think that there will be a lot of appreciation that that's what the theme is for this Mickey, because again, it brings in all the colors. So if you're lining up your entire Brickheadz collection, this one's going to be a great standout and a great talking point because of the 2 different themes coming together, Disney and then the Spring Festival, Chinese Spring Festival.
I see what you're saying. And it's not over the top Spring spring festival. It's all within reason.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, are you going to wear that very lovely jacket for...
So I live in a part of the world where it's a little bit cold this time of year as it gets to winter time. Thank you. It's a North Face. It's my wintertime jacket.
Yeah, it's a good one.
My house is kind of cold right now, so I put the heat on, but I also put on a jacket so you could save some money on your heating bills. Yeah, you don't deal with this if you live in a warm part of the world.
No, but you do deal with a lot of AC requirements, and you can't really skimp on keeping the house at proper humidity levels and proper temperature levels when it comes to heat.
Especially if you live with a significant other, again, as both of us do, that factors into it. You want to keep your special someone comfortable, you know what I mean, and your family.
You can skimp on the heat a little bit, which we do, because we got a couple of months here where it can be pretty cool. But I say at work, though, because there's always battles on, like, you know, are the set points 76 or 78 or 72 for AC? And man, 76, 78 at work is way too hot. And I always make the point, I'm like, look, you can skimp on the heat because when it's cold in the building, I can always put more clothes on. But if you're going to skimp on the AC, there's a limit, because apparently at work, you are limited on how many clothes that you can take off.
You do, in fact, have to wear clothes at work.
And so, you know,
unless you are an OnlyFans model.
Link in DG.
My final set today for Good Set, Bad Set, we are looking at it. This is 404 to 6 Christmas Wreath 2-in-1. Fun fact, I ordered one of these this morning during double VIP points. This is a Lego exclusive, so you can only find it from Lego directly. This cannot be found in any retailer, not on Amazon except by third-party sellers, not on Walmart, not on Target. It's a great plants parts pack. 4 little staffs here, little sprouts, 36 leaves, 2 palms, 40 of these, 8 of these. When this set has gone out of stock, it has consistently sold over $50. It's a $40 MSRP, and if you can get it from Lego with a gift with purchase or some double VIP like this, it's clear that there's some demand for this. It's really cool. It does 2-in-1. These candles look amazing. The differing heights, it looks very three-dimensional. I actually have a personal experience with this set, which is I offered a younger cousin of mine a choice of, hey, you know, do you want to pick out a Lego set for Christmas? Here are your choices. Here's some photos of my inventory. And my cousin chose this set. She said, I would like to build this one, please. And I said, you got it. Wrapped it up. Bada bing, bada boom. A great gift was had. But I thought it was interesting that out of all the sets of all the themes I have, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Brickheadz, lots of Disney stuff, like lots of things that would appeal, she chose this set.
Some good anecdotal evidence there. So it's a set that I might be interested in, but I have 3 comments for it. Number 1, it's the Foliage Battle Pack. Second comment, I have called it the Skeletor Wreath because it looks very thin. Thin in the width of the ring itself, but also thin in that you can see a lot of the plate that is the superstructure behind all of the foliage. Needs more foliage in the Foliage Battle Pack. And then comment number 3 is I can't see how this would be a fun build. Great for decent finished product, but I don't think getting all the foliage exactly how you want them angled and shaped, it would be that fun.
You know, I have not looked at the instructions. Let's take a quick little dive here.
The data says that this set could do okay, but I actually don't think it's going to go that high. I think it's going to go a little bit after retirement and then just plateau. I think that the history of Christmas sets doing really, really well is just so known now that there's a lot of investment in them. But I will come back though and say this one is a unique one, and I agree that it's flying under the radar because it is a Lego exclusive. So if I were to pick up a Christmas themed set, even though I personally don't like this set, I would want about 30% more foliage on it. I would be looking at this one. But yeah, let's see what the instructions look like.
So yeah, it looks here like it's one thing and you make a ton of them, 15 of them. So it looks like you could maybe pass this around at the family gathering. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hey, yo, aunt, uncle, grandma, you know, make this pattern. And then you see who sucks at it and you have a good laugh. Look at this. It comes with a little string piece there. That's very cool. A stud on either end. Yeah, once you get it together, it seems like it's too many cooks in the kitchen, too many fingers in the pie trying to put this all on here. This looks rather tedious, I will say.
Yes, because then you got to, like, the thing we like about Lego bricks that are not 1x1s is that when you put them on, they're on, and you don't have to fix the angle and get it all shaped right. Although I love foliage pieces, they don't just lock right in. You got to shape them to how you want it to look. And to me, it looks like a lot of painful work.
They can be fragile too. They can easily like break off. It's going to be rather frustrating. This alternate model, the B model with the candles, looks really great. Hey, look at that. A, I haven't even seen that. Whoa. B, what the heck? You can make all kinds of stuff.
Oh, so you can hang that B model.
This set is selling itself. You could like add your own stupid VIP pirate pack or like a Thanksgiving pack, something like that.
Wait, go back up. So that's different. I actually like that one better than the A model. If people really like Lego and they have a couple of doors in the house to hang wreaths on, I could see somebody wanting to get 2 or 3 of them so they could have the different variations all in Lego form.
You're right, because what's better than building the same structure 15 times? Doing it 45 times as a family. No, this is a great set. I'm liking it. So I, after I gave one up out of my inventory, now I only own one. So I wanted to order another from Lego. So we agree, it's a great set, huh?
Well, you say it's a great set. Mediocre set, but of the Christmas sets that are out there right now, especially the smaller size, decent price point at $40, I think it would be okay if you got the right double points or GWP. The Hoth minifigure blister pack that retired at the end of last year, but is still available for a discount. I was just going to make fun of that set for a few minutes because, you know, it went from a good investment to clearly a bad investment, but probably back to a good investment. And if you just got to hold on to it for a little longer, but it's such a small box that who really cares, So I was just going to make fun of it.
I feel like you just did. I feel like we're doing it now. The Hoth battle pack, battle in a box. It's 2 rebels. It's one rebel and Chewie against an entire walker and platoon of an E-Web, snowtrooper battalion. Yep. It's hilariously not a fair fight. So I think the addition of this, it could bundle. Bundle.
Yeah.
So another thing you'll see, there's an awful lot more of this set sitting behind me than the last time we talked. That is because this set finally went on 20% off at Target. And by the time you're seeing this video, it will have gone on 37% off.
To $25.
That is going to go live tomorrow. I intend to go out and pick up a fair number of these. I'm not going to go crazy.
Yep, me too. What are you going to do about all the ones behind you that you bought at 32?
I'm going to return them. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be a diva and walk into Target with my shopping cart full of overpriced fighter tanks. I'm going to do perfectly fine on those, and I'm happy to have them for that price. I'm happy to have as many of this set as I want. I want to gobble like a Thanksgiving turkey. This is a great set. I think, like, worst case, okay, imagine what happened last year with this set, the 75283 AAT, and the re-release of the 332nd Trooper. Imagine the same thing, the worst case scenario happens with both of these clone troopers, which won't really happen. They could maybe happen to one. That's one reason this set is so safe, is that the exclusive clone troopers are like diversified into 2 different kinds, along with the amazing Mace Windu minifigure. The tank is pretty solid. The droids don't hurt. This set at $25 is such a no-brainer.
So one thing that surprised me was that after I and some others bought these from my local Targets at the 32 price point, they came back a couple of times. I actually went into Target the day after the $32 sale stopped, and there were 5 more sitting on the shelf. And so I'm a little bit surprised that they were as readily available as they were at the $32 price point. It seemed like they should have been a little bit more scarce. So now the question is, will they go super scarce at the $25 price point? Or is there just a bunch of stock sitting in warehouses just getting ready to be shipped out at Target?
It seems strange for them to blow it out like this cheap. It's a set that sells. It's always a bestseller, despite even being at full price. So yep. I think it's strange. I mean, maybe to discount it to 20 is a great incentive, but it's like, why are they giving it to us so cheap?
So are you worried about any of that when it comes to resellability of this set?
Because I'm a long-term player, I would say I'm not too worried about it. Obviously, I have a vested interest in this set. The only negative effect we may see is that the price floor I thought we had already reached. Maybe with this influx of $25 sets, we haven't actually seen the cheapest fighter tanks yet. So it may be an extra 6 months or a year, but I'm still very, very hot on this set.
Well, and your point about Lego possibly reproducing these clones in other sets, obviously that would have an impact. But remember, the selling point on this set is the army building aspect. Unless they put them in like a $20 battle pack that will get discounted to $16, then I'm not that worried about it. Now, that's what people are saying. Hey, if they do reproduce one of these, it's going to be in a $20 battle pack. I still think people are going to want lots of these, and I'm with you. If it's a little bit longer of a hold time, so what? That's not what we want for the ideal Lego investment, but you can't predict the future. The game evolves.
I was recently replaying an old game from 2005, Star Wars Battlefront. These amazing old Star Wars games featuring the fighter tank. It's an awesome vehicle. The architecture, it's like so powerful, the way it floats around. It's very satisfying. And so like, I do think there's something to these fighter tank sets more than just the minifigures and exclusivity of the clones and everything.
And on top of the great minifigures, the vehicle build is not a throwaway.
Right.
And it really isn't. Some people complain about here and there. It should be a little more squatty. Okay, fine. Right. But, a little variation is not a bad thing. I mean, I love the build.
I've built and unbuilt like 8 of these. I'm very familiar with the build. What do you think about like building a set and actually owning it and having built it? What do you think about that affecting your decision to maybe invest in a set or maybe not invest in a set?
Well, emotionally, it absolutely does affect my decision making. And, and then it comes to that balance, right? Like the more that you are personally personally connected, the more that you're going to be tuned into that set. And I think therefore, the more that you grasp and understand all the facts, right? Like you have vested interest in it. So you want to learn more about the set. But obviously that can be taken too far to where then you ignore the data and the analytics that you should also be using to drive decisions on what sets to buy. And so it's a balance there. But for me, I'd rather take that risk that I might be a little too emotional about it and go ahead and build the set and have that experience. I think more data and more information and more personal experience can only help in the long run with decision making. Well, so as we wrap up here, David, what else are you thinking about through the end of this year?
The biggest thing I could say is I'm looking forward to army building even more of my purple clones here with the Republic fighter tanks before the end of the year, taking advantage of this sale. As far as selling, I am going to be selling about $6,000 to maybe $8,000 worth of inventory, hopefully, before the end of the year. Certain sets from last year that are kind of underperforming, like Trouble on Tatooine, that I have some, I didn't buy any directly, but I'm exposed to that set. I have 34 copies of it through that Walmart 3-in-1 pack that I've done okay on, but I just way over ordered it. And so I'm looking forward to getting rid of those sets, reinvesting some of that profit, even at a break-even price, or even maybe even a small loss, just to get that capital back and reinvest it into something that's going to earn me a positive cash flow. You know, Lego investing it's not hopelessly complicated. It's not rocket science. No, just if you stick to a couple key principles and good ideas, you can usually make pretty sound decisions. And even if you don't hit the bullseye, you can do kind of okay. You can hit kind of some decent points and you can make better return than you would in the stock market. Even if you just do averagely, if you buy the best sets at the best discounts, there's no limit. You can do multi-100% ROI. It's crazy.
Even those 100 Mario play sets that you bought that you were telling me about the other day.
No such
it'll work out. It'll work out, you know.
I would never. Let's suppose worst case, you bought 100 of those at full MSRP because you're dumb and you don't use my Rakuten link, you know, and you sell them for $30. You lost 50% on your investment. That's your disaster case. You at least got half back. I was thinking about this, like, even if you have a flood, a roof leak, and like your boxes get wet and they get moldy and they just completely disintegrate. It's like, well, the minifigures in the bags are still probably okay. You could probably sanitize those and sell those and just get what you paid back. It's such a resilient investment.
Yeah, it really is. Now, will there ever come a time when people look back and they're like, oh yeah, what was that called? Lego? What was that?
I don't think so. I think it's going to have a long-term enduring appeal. We're seeing the revenue on the Lego company, you know, go diagonal, up, 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 up.
Yeah.
They're appealing to adults more. I mean, I absolutely think it's a growth industry. So I think despite the production ramping up in the new US factory, I think happening in the state of Virginia, coming online probably next year, the market is still booming. Lego is a super profitable company, like way more than other private companies. So it's kind of amazing. And I think as an investor, that means that despite you're like, oh, is this set hoarded? Like, yes, but there's going to be hundreds and hundreds and thousands of copies demanded in the future by these new fans. There's no way that whatever is hoarded can even keep up. Kind of a similar thing that I said about the $30 501st Battle Pack. Was that hoarded? I don't know. It's doubled in price already in a year.
That's right.
If you bought it 20% off, you could sell it now and double your money. Was that hoarded? People said it was.
As long as Lego continues to understand what their product is and why their product is so popular, this is going to go on for a long time. I mean, at this point, the Lego brick is so ingrained in our society.
I see so many lunchboxes and backpacks and kids, and there's a Lego movie that's grossed, I don't know, that whole franchise, maybe $1 billion.
And so if Lego just doesn't forget that what everybody loves is the physical experience of building the sets with all the bright colors and seeing, you know, even though you can look at on paper a picture of it, but actually being the person that puts it all together, having all the mechanisms and part designs and then all the engineering design that goes into all the sets, as long as they remember that's what everybody likes, they will do well for a very long time. The reason that they got hit late 90s, was it late 90s that they almost went bankrupt? They almost went bankrupt. And what happened is that video games were becoming very popular. And so Lego was like, oh, we got to compete with that. So instead of leaning further into their product and being different from the short attention span, you know, screen, and they tried to adapt their product into something that would attract the shorter attention span and maybe a digital connection. And that almost cost them. No, we like the Lego product because it's a break from the other products and the other things that people do for entertainment in life. I think as technology and as society continues to advance and we continue to have more screens, you know, attached to our wrists and everywhere else, I'm really hoping Lego continues to lean into their product. When somebody opens up a box, they typically are not thinking to themselves, hey, I want to make sure that I keep all the pieces for this set at least somewhere together where I know I could recreate this set. So even though there's going to be tons of sets on the market, and even though people are going to say, hey, how many sets can a single person actually own and collect? That will be some heavy pressure at some point. But gotta remember, most of these sets that get opened up, they just turn into a bucket of random Lego pieces eventually. There will be that desirability to have a fresh new box knowing that, hey, all the pieces are in there and I can go build this specific set. And so it's not like other things, you know, like Funko Pops. You open them up or you don't open them up, but you put them on the shelf and you're like, okay, that's going to stay in its state. 100% of these are going to stay in its state basically forever.
Oh, I see what you mean. They never. Yeah, that's definitely true. That's a distinguishing factor about Lego. And that's one of the many reasons why it's such a great product to own, to use, to sell. Do you, when you look at your spreadsheet, ever decide to order certain quantities of set, like so that they match up? For example, I see behind you, or just over your shoulder, you have a NASA lunar lander, and I believe an International Space Station as well. That space bundle. I own, let's see, 2 of that last set, but only 1 of the lander. So that's part of why I wanted to order 1 more lander so that I would have 2 plus 2. Do you ever think about that when you do your orders?
You know, I didn't think about that as much until you started hammering the word bundle into my head. And so just over the last few months, I've actually started to think about it. Now, one that I did, which was absolutely obvious, the 3 Minecraft Brickheadz that came out and are retiring the next year. Those I'm selling as packs of 3. But pairing up these 2 behind me, I wouldn't have thought of that up until a few months ago. And that's why I put these 2 together, because I'm hoping to sell them as a bundle.
Well, of course, in the dioramas as a series, as a collection, I have the helmets behind me. That goes well as a series. I found it's fewer buyers overall, but when I do get buyers, they are more likely to want multiples when it's the helmet series. It's just been my experience. Again, anecdotal evidence, not to be taken, seriously. It's not financial advice. Nothing we're talking about today is financial advice.
That is always true with us. So you're saying $6,000 to $8,000 in inventory you're gonna clear out this Q4. That's fantastic.
I'm gonna try to. Yeah, I need to clear some space. It's a function of space and cash flow issues. Just in with the new, out with the old.
Well, my wife has reminded me a few times recently, since all the deals are going on. She's like, there are 2 parts to investing. You're really good at the buying part. Have you thought about maybe focusing a little bit more on the selling part?
At least if you pick good stuff like your Mando starfighters or like your fighter tanks or the Scythe. Another question for you. Do you think about certain price points? Like I think, for example, last year's $100 price point, the Bad Batch Clone Attack Shuttle, is doing phenomenally well. It's up at like $170 already in a year. Do you then think, okay, the last year's $100 set did amazingly. What's this year's retiring set? What's the Scythe? I think that will then do amazingly.
So short answer, yes. Because going back to a few minutes ago, the more data, the more knowledge, I will use it as best I can. But how heavy of a metric is that in the decision making? I would say more often than not depends. Because if Amazon is going to throw the 3,000 piece modular police station MSRP $200 at us for $150, well, I'm not worrying about what the size of the box or the price point is on that. I'm getting it. Now, both of us ended up not getting it, but I already have my view on that one. It's another variable to think about. We'll be doing more of these podcasts. This is episode 7, so we'll get working on episode 8 here before too long.
We'll do the next one. Is going to be a holiday special. It's going to be epic.
Am I going to have to get my ugly sweater out in time for that? Are we going to come in costume?
Most definitely. We're going to be drinking eggnog and we're going to be spreading holiday cheer.
And maybe a little bit of Bailey's in that eggnog.
And if this video, number 7, gets 200 likes, I will take my shirt off.
Please, nobody like this video. Please.
Thank you so much for watching. Buy very carefully. Have a great day.